So Mick, we've got harvest rolling and we can see the crops maturing rapidly. We like guys to put a little thought into their fertilizer program ahead of harvest. So if you're talking to a guy about anhydrous ammonia that they're thinking about fall applying, what kind of things do you think about?
You know, timing is first and foremost. We don't want to go out there till the soil temperature's below 50 degrees. And then think about stabilizing that nitrogen in the ammonium form, keeping it in the ammonium form as long as we possibly can, Tim.
Yep. So with Mick Godekin, our innovation agronomist, I'm Tim Mundorf, nutrient management lead here at CVA, and our agronomy focus today is going to be about nitrogen application and using nitrification inhibitors as we think about fall application of anhydrous ammonia. So Mick, we had a lot of nitrogen conversations just a little bit earlier, you know, as some of our natural resource districts have made some changes in their rules. And you know, across CVA's territory, we still do a little bit of fall applied anhydrous. So when we talk about fall applied anhydrous, we normally would like to at least talk about an inhibitor. What do you bring into the conversation?
So absolutely, Tim, let's talk first about why we wait till November 1. The first thing that we got to think about is that November 1st date is to allow that ground to cool down or get to below 50 degrees. Now, below 50 degree soil temperatures, those microbes still are there and still working, they're just not as active. And so that's the reason we have that date of November 1st for an application date, or that 50 degree soil temperature. And then even though we're having that low soil temperature, we still have some microbial activity that can cause some of that conversion of ammonium to the nitrate form. So then we got to add an inhibitor to protect us during that time period when it is before we frost up and have frozen ground, because once we have frozen ground, we don't have any problems with nitrogen movement.
Right.
But we have a window of opportunity, and who knows when that window is going to close. Is it going to stretch into December? Is it going to be in 2 weeks? We don't know. So we want to protect that investment as much as possible.
Yeah. And a lot of those inhibitors we use, if things do get cold right away after they're applied, their activity lasts into the next spring as soil temperatures start to warm up, correct?
Typically, an inhibitor used on anhydrous, we're going to say gives you 50 to 60 days of protection at soil temperatures above 32 degrees.
Yep. But guys have options now. What are the three products we're carrying?
Right now we have N-Serve. N-Serve's been around for a long time, longer than you've been in the industry.
Proven product.
Proven product, it's been around for a long time. Then we have a new product called Centero.
Yeah.
A little higher use rate, but the data looks good and it looks like it's a good product, a little easier to work with as far as an operational standpoint.
And that product's coming from Koch, so that's a company with a lot of history in the nitrogen markets.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And then we have Nitrisphere NH3, which is a product from Verdesian. It's been around for a couple years. We've done some testing in the past and had some good results with that. Just another tool in our toolbox as far as nitrification inhibitors.
Sometimes there's some confusion with growers between a urease inhibitor, which really has nothing to do with fall application, and a nitrification inhibitor. When we talk about anhydrous ammonia, fall application, we're talking about nitrification inhibitors.
Correct, because we're putting NH3 gas in the ground, Tim. So that NH3 gas hits the moisture in the soil and converts to NH4 ammonium. And I always stress that M on the at the end of that. But once we're in that ammonium form, ammonium in the soil is stable, but it can undergo process through nitrification and become nitrate.
Yep.
And there's two bacterial processes that cause that, and we want to slow that process down.
Yep.
And we want to keep it in the ammonium form so that it's stable in that soil up until that plant needs it.
So we really have, some concerns that we want to make sure our growers are thinking about as they go out there and make nitrogen application. We understand anhydrous ammonia is one of your cheaper forms of nitrogen. So from an economic standpoint, a grower might really like that product, and we like to apply some things in the fall, so maybe we can cut down on the work we've got to do in the spring. But we need to think about our impact on the environment, use some of the tools we have available, and maximize the efficiency of the fertilizer we put down.
Absolutely, and a lot of what we're seeing in the groundwater today didn't come from the last 5 years, Tim. It came from 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years back. And so we got to think, what we're doing today is going to affect our children and grandchildren.
Right. So Mick, thanks for joining me today on Agronomy Focus. With Mick Godekin, our innovation agronomist, I'm Tim Mundorf, Nutrient Management Lead here at CVA. Thanks for joining us on this Agronomy Focus video.